So you want to be a YouTuber? Well, good news. Anybody can do this. All you need is a cell phone, one piece. That's really all you need to get going. So you need a cell phone, which you already have. No holding back, charge right in. And can you talk? If you know how to talk and you have a cell phone, you can be a YouTuber. 100% of the videos I have created for my YouTube channel have come from an iPhone, a cell phone. But other than running around with a little motorized selfie stick with a cell phone on it, that's how I do it. I cram it in people's faces and I start asking questions. What you have to decide is it going to be a hobby or is it going to be a business? I'm trying to actually make a business out of it so far. I can't say that it's been all that successful, but I'm going to keep marching on. But if you want to monetize your channel, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, which I have. I'm coming up on 25,000 subscribers, which is okay. And I'm going to share with you here in a bit some of my earnings through YouTube. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have at least 4,000 watch time hours in a year. In a year's time, you have to have at least 4,000 watch time hours in addition to the 1,000 subscribers. There are, a few different ways you can get paid on YouTube, obviously with the pop-up ads if you have enough subscribers and watch time hours. But there are paid sponsorships as well. I've been approached by a few people through email. I don't know who they are. Here's the product. If you'll advertise it, we'll pay you for it. I don't know if I want to go down that road yet, but I haven't had a lot of offers either. And I do have the thanks button. You can, super thanks it's called. You can click, I think it's lower right, click super thanks and you can actually donate to my cause. I haven't had a lot of response with that yet. So super thanks, that's one option how I can get paid. I'm hoping just to gain enough revenue through the pop-up ads that I can start to make this make sense. There are product placements as well you can do. They'll provide you with links to their companies or corporations or whoever their products and services that you can put down in the description of your video. Then based on how many people click on that link, you'll be paid X amount. But so far it's just pop-up ads and whoever will come to me through my super thanks. So I want to share with you one quick story before I get to some of my expenses and some of my earnings on YouTube. I had one of the greatest things ever happen. I recently did a video on Ricky Lewis. You may know his name. He's a non-wing sprint car driver out of Camarillo, California, basically a northern suburb of Los Angeles. And Ricky really appreciated the video. He said,
got the History Mystery
Man is here on the PA from Victory Lane, which I thought was really cool. I've never heard History Mystery Man over a racetrack PA before. So that was a big deal for me, just for him to acknowledge me that way. He was very grateful and very appreciative of the time and energy I put in his video. And so Ricky Lewis, thank you so much. He's one of my favorites for sure. I really, really like that dude. I'm a Ricky Lewis fan for sure now. But anyway, there was a gentleman out in Camarillo, California. Ricky Lewis is originally from Camarillo, California. And there's a gentleman that lives out there. I think he's 79 years young, Vietnam veteran, did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. He's a big-time race fan, and he happened to see the Ricky Lewis video. And this guy reached out to Ricky Lewis and said he wanted to help a little bit. And I think he helped Ricky Lewis a little bit. And he said, how about that History Mystery Man? What do you know about him? Ricky told him, yeah, he did a great job with mine. And I know he doesn't make a lot of money doing this. He kind of does it out of his own pocket, which is absolutely true. And the guy said to Ricky, oh, hey, I want to help this guy. I want to help the History Mystery Man. Can you So Ricky called me and said, hey, can I give this guy your phone number? I said, hell yeah. Do that right now. Yesterday, give him my number. It wasn't just a couple minutes later, this guy called me and said, I want to help you. And so he sent me some financial compensation for, in appreciation for what I'm doing. And that was the first time that ever happened. And I'm so grateful to that gentleman in Camarillo, California. As far as my expenses and the money I'm bringing in, I had my best year in 2022. And it was the year I had a couple of videos on the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Great Lakes freighter that broke in two and sank in Lake Superior in 1975. All 29 hands were lost. I did a video on the Edmund Fitzgerald. I did a couple on them, and they sort of kind of went viral, and they did very well. And that was pretty cool. And that put my numbers in a healthier place for the year 2022. Just to give it to you straight, in my best year ever, 2022, haven't had that year since, when I tallied up all my expenses through my travel, buying pit passes. Yes, I buy all my pit passes, by the way. A lot of people assume I'm getting in free under some fancy media credential. No, 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 no. I buy all my own pit passes. When I went to the Joker's jackpot during King's Royal Weekend at Eldora, I mean, my single day pit pass for that day was $65. So you have that, you have the food, you have the gas to get there. If I'm going on a longer haul, I'm going to get a hotel 1, 2, 3 nights, whatever it takes. Oh yeah, I was going on about my expenses for the year, my overall expenses, travel, food, whatever it takes. And I'm not even counting the hours of editing I have. When I come home, I bring it home, I download everything, I have to watch everything. You always bring back 5 times as much as you ever use. And then you gotta patch it all together in your video editor. And, it's a lot of work. A typical video for me, you'll see a 20-minute video from a racetrack. That's typically for me anywhere from 30 to 40 hours, more closer to 40 when you, including the travel. So it's about a 40-hour project, and I'm not counting that in my expenses. Anyway, in 2022, my best year ever in YouTube, after it was all said and done at the end of the year for all my expenses, for what I paid out and for what money I brought in, I lost $1,500 in 2022, my best year. I thought that was pretty good. And the way my channel was going, I thought, man, I'm going places now. But 2023, I did not have as good of a year as I did in 2022. So I lost more money, about $2,500 at the end of the year. 2024, I'm tracking to do even worse than I did in 2023. So you got the ideas, I'm all for it, man. I'm open. None of it makes sense. I do lay in bed and scratch my head at night sometimes. What am I doing? It is a full-time gig plus. But you have to commit, I'm going to say about 8 hours a day, every day. There's no getting away from this if you're going to do it and do it right and turn it into a business and all that comes with it. If you're working a full-time job and you want to one day be a full-time YouTuber, you have to work your 8 hours or whatever it is, 9, 10 hours. You have to come home and then put in another 8. Let's see, 8 plus 8, that's 16 hours, right? I don't have a full-time job. I'm retired from my career job, public relations director at ARCA. Yeah, I mean, if you want to turn this into a business, a successful YouTube business, you have to be willing to put in the time, and I'm talking every day, and learn to love it. And learn to love being alone a lot. If you're not the type that can be alone and without humans around, this might not be for you, because there's a lot of alone time in the production of it, and the editing, and the filming, and through all the journey of it all. I mean, I've even been accused of I'm just out to make money off of what people say. I had a race car driver come up to me at Eldora Speedway with like 50 people around and chewed me out so that everybody could hear that I was only there to make money off of what came out of that race driver's mouth. And I'm thinking, I mean, it was devastating. It freaked me out, Number one, I didn't know it was a crime to make money in America. Number two, I'm not making money. I'm losing money doing this, providing this content to you. You know what does the best on my channel? The content I do for the Great Lakes maritime industry, specifically the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's what gets the most views on my channel. Maybe I should create 2 channels, one with Great Lakes Maritime and the other with just racing, so I don't confuse the algorithm. There's a lot to that. So if you're doing racing this week, and then you change over to the Great Lakes Maritime industry this week, now the algorithm doesn't know who to show your content to. It's confused. And maybe I'm confusing my audience. I don't know. I do have a lot of interests I like to share. Small town America, history. I'd love to do more of that, but I can't. The views just don't do anything when I do small town America or Gettysburg, or that's the stuff I absolutely love, but it doesn't do well. Racing in the Great Lakes maritime industry seem to do the best, but mostly the Great Lakes maritime industry. The story of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which I hope to have more content on that coming up, is known around the world. And the ship sank in 1975, and that was a year later, in 1976, that Gordon Lightfoot came out with his blockbuster smash hit, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And that song back then traveled the world. So everybody around the world, it's like the Titanic. The Edmund Fitzgerald is the Titanic of the Great Lakes. When I do videos on the Edmund Fitzgerald, I hear from people in Ireland and England and Scotland, South Africa and Australia and New Zealand. You've seen my stuff. I sit down with Captain Darrell Walton. His dad's brother, his uncle, Ralph Grant Walton, went down. He was an oiler on the Edmund Fitzgerald and went down with the great ship. So it's very personal to him. And he's a former captain himself, Captain Darrell Walton, and his knowledge of the industry is wide and vast, and he's one of the best, greatest storytellers on planet Earth, period. I'm so lucky to have him in my corner. So if you're watching, Captain Darrell, I love you, buddy, and I'm so thankful for everything you've done for me and my channel and to grow that interest in the Great Lakes. By the way, I don't think I told you how much I made. Yeah, I was going to share some of my earnings. I'm sorry. The most recent video I did from Eldora, the King's Royal Weekend, I got about 40 hours into that video, including the travel. That video made $10.14. That's about 25 cents an hour is what I made on that. The Little 500 did much better. It got up to 37,000 views, and I did get $150 back on that, which is a big deal for me, but considering my time, that's 40 hours. I made $150. That does not count my expense, getting into the track, all that stuff. So you can make money in this, but you gotta put some watch time hours. You gotta put eyeball. Do they click on your video, and how long do they stay? Those two things. It's tough to make money. I did a video on Jack Hewitt and Charlie Schwartz from Waynesfield Raceway Park. That one got about 8,000 views and earned $29.91. My journey, how did I become the History Mystery Man? I'm going to end with this story. Well, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, I was posting little historical blogs on Facebook. I am a history geek. That's all there is to it. If I could do videos on just the Civil War and Gettysburg and Abraham Lincoln and small town America, I probably wouldn't do another damn thing. I'd concentrate on that. Other people do well with it. Mine just don't do well. I don't know why. Maybe it's the algorithm. Or maybe they're just not that interesting. I'm not going to blame everything on YouTube or the algorithm. I have to come up with better, more interesting, more compelling content. That's all. I mean, I say I put this on me. Anyway, I was doing historical blogs for Facebook. And then my buddy from high school, hadn't talked to him in years. He lives down in North Carolina. He called me one day and said, hey, I really like those historical blogs you're doing on Facebook. Those are really super interesting. He called them blogs. He goes, you know what? You should start writing some blogs. Yeah, I said, okay, I'm going to start doing some blogs. And he calls me back about a month later and he said, how's the blogging coming? I go, pretty good. I'm all set to go, you know? And he goes, great. What's your plan? I said, well, I'm going to I got my first blog written on the American Revolution, and I'm sending it to blogspot.com. And he goes, whoa, wait a minute. You're going to do what? I said, well, yeah, you said I should start blogging, so I'm going to send my stuff off to blogspot.com and the other ones. He goes, no. You don't give your content away. I'm going, what do you mean? He goes, no. You have to create your own brand. I said, okay, what does that mean? You have to come up with a name, you know? So I came up with the name History Mystery Man. I don't know where it came from, but that's the name I came up with because I'm a history geek. That's how that name started. And he goes, and now you have to make a website, which I do have one, historymysteryman.com. I don't do a lot with it, but there's a lot of content there that I've written over the years, decades actually. I don't think I've ever said that on this YouTube channel, but I do have it, historymysteryman.com. He goes, I said, I don't know how to make a website. He goes, well, you have to make one anyway. Go to download WordPress and pick a template and go. And I did. And then he says, okay, now you got to create a Facebook fan page. And I said, what? I said, I already have a Facebook page. He goes, no, you need a fan page for the History Mystery Man. And I said, I don't want him to go to History Mystery Man Facebook. I want him to go to my website. And he said, well, that's how you get him there. You tease him at History Mystery Man Facebook, and then you provide the link that takes you to the article on your website. I was at Abraham Lincoln's mother's grave in southern Indiana, state park there, where she's buried, Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Buried. That was right in front of her tombstone. I said, you know, I just held my cell phone up and I talked into it like a video. And I posted it on Facebook, you know, and one thing led to the next. Anyway, that's how it started, and that's why, and then I expanded to my interests, auto racing, which I've been involved with all my life. My dad had race cars growing up. I've been in the industry all my life, so I wanted to share some of that. And as I worked in the Great Lakes maritime industry, I certainly wanted to share some of that, and it grew into what it is today. So, and a lot of people at the racetrack going, "What are you, the History Mystery Man?" Yeah, I'm the History Mystery Man. What is that? And what's that got to do with racing? Well, nothing, I guess. And I've thought often about changing my name to be more suitable toward racing or the maritime industry or whatever, a name that matches better. But it's so, I think, so branded now but that's how it started, because I am a bona fide history geek. That's all there is to it. And there's no way out of that. And I love, especially American history. I think it's the most interesting. Anyway, that's all I have. If you're still with me, thank you so much. Your comments on this would be greatly appreciated. I know this video is not going to get a gazillion views, if very many at all. But for those that did stay with me through the whole thing, I'm grateful to you. And if you had to cut out early, I get it. I do. I'm guilty myself, so I don't even watch what I do. But I'm so glad that you do. My annual thanks to all my subscribers and all the people that follow me at YouTube and take the time and energy it takes and the hours out of your day to watch what I do. So thank you so much. Grateful to all of you. And it's my intention to keep this thing going if I don't run out of juice. But I'm going to do my best. So hang in there. I'll hang in there if you hang in there. Thanks for your support, and God bless.